Aloha, you're listening to the Traveller's Ukulele Gig Guide podcast, where I talk to people about travel and ukulele. Today we're going down to the Mornington Peninsula of Victoria, and there we find Sally Carter. Sally is one of Australia's leading ukulele teachers, writers, singers, performers, ukulele ensemble enthusiasts, and all-round lovely person. Listen now as we hear some yarns and some insight into Sally's ukulele journey and her thoughts on a big dream for the future. Morena, Sally, how are you?
I'm well, thanks, Shirley Ann. It's an absolute pleasure to be here and chatting to you.
Oh, thank you. That's wonderful. Look, I love the frame that you're working in. Is that your music studio there? Your music
It
room?
sure is.
Yeah.
I have a music studio, it's quite messy because I'm constant. I've just finished writing my ukulele ensemble 3 books, so I've got mess everywhere. But I'll just show you a little bit. So we've got the doorway. There's no door; it's a curtain. Got the piano. We've got pictures on the wall. Got a nice vase of flowers. I love flowers, which is why I love the flowers in your hair. Some sheets, pictures, window. Sort of goes all the way around, really. I'll take it round the other way. There we go.
It's beautiful.
And I've got more pictures. Yeah.
Wonderful. Now, friends, for those of you who are listening an audio file, Sally just spun us around this room, and let me describe it to you in this way. It's eclectic. It's got colourful pictures, all sorts of shades and bright colours around the room, but the walls of the studio are a beautiful mauvey blue, very calming and full of music inspiration, I think. It's beautiful, Sally.
Thanks, Shirley Ann. Well, likewise, I'm noticing some lovely pictures on your wall as well.
Oh,
And
thank you very much. Yes, Sally's
yeah.
referring to a cup. My friend is an artist, and she's painted some beautiful tropical bright pictures. And once she paints them, I go and scrabble them all up. Anyway, that's an aside. This is the Traveller's Ukulele Gig Guide, my friends. Sally, I wondered if you could tell us where you're from. Where were you born?
Well, I was born in New Zealand, south of Auckland in the Waikato area. And I wear this pounamu, this necklace. This is my only necklace, and this is was given to me by my dad, and this is something that I always wear, and it reminds me of where I come from, who I am. And if I'm having a bad day, I just, I hold on to it and go, you know what? Okay, it's all good, and it just helps ground me. So, yep. So I'm from New Zealand. I was born in Pukekohe, and I was raised in Onifero. So,
Beautiful. Oh, that's lovely. And that's a beautiful and important reference to origin is our root, the roots that we
yes,
have, and how
yes,
those can ground us no matter where we find ourselves in the world.
yes.
Sally, where are you living now?
I'm living on the Mornington Peninsula, which is in Victoria, and it's about 45 minutes south of Melbourne, depending on the traffic. so, yeah, and it's such a beautiful place. It's actually one of the major holiday destinations in Australia. So travellers, if you want to come down here, it's a great place well, it's a great place to live, but it's a great place to visit as well. There's beaches all down right to the end, and then right up the other side. There's maze parks you can visit. There's, you can do mini golf, indoor bowling, just swim in the sea. Absolutely divine restaurants, cafes, wineries. It's just magic, and I love it down here. Yeah.
Fantastic. So Sally, you're originally from New Zealand, but you're now living in Australia. Um, is Australia where you learnt music, or did you learn your music back in the old country?
I learnt music back in the old country, but I continued it here. Like I was brought up in a household that there were a lot of people coming and going, visiting all the time. Like the house, there were always visitors for dinner, and um, and there was a lot of music being played. And when I was a child, a lot of people came around with their guitars and just singing, playing songs, and that's when I picked up the guitar. And a little bit later, when I was 12, I picked up the fiddle. Um, but there were no formal music lessons. So with the fiddle, I sort of vaguely worked out how to do it. The district nurse at the time, she was a violinist, so she taught me correct fingering. But she was busy being a nurse, so there wasn't much time for me. So it wasn't until I moved to Australia and I was uh, in Tasmania, and I decided I wanted to like get better techniques. I thought, oh, my technique's probably a bit dodgy, and it was. So had a year of classical lessons on the violin, and it really improved my playing because if you've got good technique, you can play better. So so I've sort of done a lot of learning in New Zealand, but learning over here as well. But it's funny, that people say when you ask them, particularly in the ukulele world, they say, "Oh, don't listen to me. I'm just learning." And I'm just like, "Hang on a second. We're all learning. I'm learning. I'm still learning. I'll pick up the ukulele, and there will always be something new. I'll go, oh, I've just discovered this." So everybody's learning. We're all on this learning journey together.
That's
So,
wonderful.
yeah,
Beautiful. Sally, that is um, um, it sounds like you really enjoy playing music and also
yes,
really enjoy the ukulele. Is that right?
I sure do. People say, oh, what's your favorite instrument between the fiddle and the ukulele? And like, kind of at the end of the day, it does depend on what's being played, what tune's being played. But overall, if if somebody said to me, you're only allowed to play one instrument, I would make it the ukulele. Because with the ukulele, I can do all that I can do on it, but I can also sing at the same time. Whereas on the fiddle, if you've got this shoved under your neck and you're strumming it, bowing away, it's a lot harder to sing and play the fiddle than it is to sing and play the ukulele. So, yeah, the ukulele would be overall my favourite instrument.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
wonderful. You have a lovely looking ukulele there. What sort of brand of ukulele do you play?
It's a close ukulele. I'll just hold up there. So they're full carbon fibre. Or this is actually a um, carbon fibre hybrid, so it's got a mahogany neck. Um, but this was the absolute first ukulele that run of ukuleles they made. Um, so so I just took a leap of faith, and they did a crowdfunding to get the money to make their first run of ukuleles. So I put in 25% of the cost of the yoke, thinking, I hope these people are honest. And they were. And and I got sent this 4 months after I put the deposit on, because it took them that amount of time to make the yokes and send them out.
Wow.
So yeah, close ukuleles. They are quite expensive now. Um, they've gone up in prices. I reckon they've just realised that they're popular, so they've raised the price. But even with the price they are now, if this is the love of your life, it's worth it.
Mm,
So yeah, absolutely.
beautiful sentiment. All right, Sally,
Mm.
you're a very, very busy ukulele player, performer, singer, songwriter, teacher, traveler. Um, I bet you've got a lot of great yarns, a lot of great stories. Can you
Oh, yeah.
share with us one of your best memories, your best ukulele memories in any one
Um,
of those hats that I just mentioned?
okay. Um, okay, this is a performance one. Now, okay, think of, I don't know whether anybody's familiar with the bluegrass world,
Mm.
but in bluegrass music, you've got double bass, banjo, mandolin, guitar, and fiddle. Those are the bluegrass instruments. Okay. Now, I'm in a music duo called Greenfields, and we were invited to be the main act at this bluegrass club in Ferntree Gully. This would have been a couple of years ago now. Anyway, so we're like, yeehaw, right, we're going to, we did some fiddle and guitar tunes and songs, but we also did ukulele and guitar, ukulele and ukulele duets, playing bluegrass tunes. Okay, so we'd worked all this out. As I was walking on stage, one guy said, I think he was a stage crew, and he said, "What's that?" And I said, "It's my ukulele." And he said, "Oh, you'd better tell them that it's a small guitar." And I was like, "Oh." And he said, "Yeah, no, don't tell them it's a ukulele." Oh, no. My spirit, as I was walking on stage, I was just feeling, I started to feel quite worried, anxious, a bit down, because I said, "Oh, they're going to hate us. What have we done?" Anyway, Keith noticed, he noticed the change in me, and he was like, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." I mean, I wasn't, but anyway, and then something in me said, because there we were on stage, all these people out there. And I thought, no, I've got to own this. I'm proud of being a ukulele player, and I'm going to let them know that. So I said, in case anybody's wondering, this is a ukulele, and I'm proud to be a ukulele player. And you're going to hear some bluegrass music on ukulele. Little known to me, there were all these, there's a big table of ukulele players sitting um, just below the stage. And they all went, "Yeehaw!" And they just screamed out loud and went, "Up the ukulele, go Sally, go Keith, we want to hear the ukulele." And that really boosted me. So I'm really glad that they'd they'd said that. Otherwise, because if you're going on stage but feeling down, it's going to affect your playing. Anyway, we played really well. And then afterwards, at the end of the show, when we got off and towards, it was the end of the evening, and these, a few quite hardcore bluegrass people came up to me and said, "I used to hate the ukulele, but man, that sounds so good. Bluegrass, you can actually play bluegrass music on ukulele." I was happy. So,
Amazing.
part of my, thank you. But so part of my mission is to, I mean, obviously, I enjoy playing at uke festivals, but more importantly, we want to play ukulele at other festivals and other events because it's showing the ukulele or the world that the ukulele isn't just for ukulele players and, just for playing in groups at ukulele festivals, only for ukulele events. It's an instrument, just like any other instrument. Go out and play it anywhere. It's acceptable anywhere.
Mm.
And it's for everybody to to be proud of playing the ukulele and say, "You know what? This instrument is for more than just ukulele festivals, ukulele events. It's to take out into the world, into other musical situations."
Look, I think that
Yeah.
is just a wonderful thing. You termed it as a mission. Um, And it's lovely that you showcase ukulele, but you do add other instruments. You've got other instruments to your bow, your fiddle
Yes,
and your and your guitar, and so that opens up the diversity for it. But nonetheless, showcasing ukulele as not being a toy and being
yes,
an instrument that a serious or even a not serious, a complete beginner, you can have that diversity because the instrument holds all the songs that you want to play. So it depends
absolutely.
on the musician. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the attitude. And if you think, but you know, so many people say, oh, but I'm just a beginner. Everybody's got to start somewhere. And let me tell you, there are plenty of beginner banjo players, beginner violin or fiddle violin players, beginner guitar players, beginner mandolin players. Like they're everywhere. So why not beginner ukulele?
Mm.
There you go.
Sally, I want to just sort of ask this. We jumped into, some of these great stories of now or the recent
Yeah.
past. How did you actually start playing ukulele? What's that story?
Okay. Well, my daughter was in grade 4
Oh,
and she came home from school one day and she said, oh, we're learning ukulele at school. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. Would you like me to buy you one so you can practice what you're learning at school? You practice at home. And she said, oh, yeah, I'd love one. So I bought like a bright yellow mahalo ukulele with the smiley face on it. And, the eyes are like the sound holes and everything. Yeah. Anyway, so I bought her that. So she was strumming along with that. And then she was like, oh, I'm lonely. Can you join me? So I grabbed my guitar and joined her on the guitar. And she said, you're too loud, Mum. Like, I can't hear myself. Can you get a ukulele? So I said, oh, okay. So I just went down to the local shop and bought a bright orange Mahalo ukulele. Just a little thing to muck around with because, I just wanted to keep her happy. Anyway, because I've got small hands, I suddenly started finding that I was able to do things on this little ukulele that I couldn't do on guitar because my stretch isn't, the biggest. Short fingers, my fingers don't stretch apart too much. They're not overly strong. They're quick, but they're not strong. So I started like going, oh, I can do this. Oh, I can do this. And then got really excited. So I thought, I need a better ukulele. So I thought, well, rather than buy, um, slowly sort of build up to a really expensive ukulele, I thought, well, I know that this is something I really want to do. So that was when I got in touch with the close ukulele people. After about 4 months research, and I settled on these ukuleles. So I went from a $40 mahalo to $1,000 close ukulele. I mean, they're now close to $2,000, but I got in early when they were cheaper. And that was 6.5 years ago.
beautiful.
So
From the
yeah.
mouths of babes.
Oh, do you know, I always say you never know who's going to influence you at that critical moment
Mm,
to take you off in a direction.
mm,
And it can be anywhere. And for me, it was my grade 4 daughter.
mm.
So that, if you're going to say who has been the biggest influence on my ukulele playing, it would have to be my daughter, Bonnie, because she
Oh,
got me
wonderful.
started. Without her, it would never have occurred to me to
Oh,
start.
wonderful. Yay.
Yeah.
Um, this leads me to a question. Something just popped up in my mind. Now, you are a songwriter and you have books. I wonder if we could talk about that. But I wondered
Yes.
whether you've written a song for Bonnie. Have you?
Yes, I have. Now, I'll just take my ukulele off. It's not a song, It's a tune, and it's in my Ukulele Ensemble 1 book, and it is called Bonnie's Lullaby.
Oh.
So, yeah, so there you go. I have written, the tune for Bonnie. I actually wrote, it said in the book, it says that, I wrote it in 2020. I just put that because I just couldn't be bothered changing the thing at the bottom of the software. But I actually wrote it in 2007. I was rocking it. She was like, 5 weeks old, would not stop screaming. So I thought, oh, I'll rock her. And then this tune came into my head. And then it was like, oh, this is a really good tune. So I popped her down, thought, so she started screaming again, but I thought, Lord, just hold on a second there. So I got some manuscript paper out and quickly, because I read and write, I can write the dots. So I quickly wrote out the tune. Okay, done, because I didn't want to forget it, and then picked her up again. So that's Bonnie's Lullaby.
Okay, well, I do feel you should play us some of Bonnie's Lullaby. Would you mind?
Yeah, okay. Hang on a second.
Just a few notes because we want to hear, and then more talk about your wonderful
Okay.
lot of resources. Here's Bonnie's Lullaby, Travellers by Sally Close. No, Sally Carter.
So, yeah, the closest ukulele. So the melody is.
Yay! Thank you so much. Sally, how heartwarming is it to have written a piece, published a piece, and now you're teaching those pieces to people in
Yes,
classroom workshops? How does that make you feel?
I it's a mixture of excitement and proud of what I've done, but also a sense of I suppose humility when people come and go, oh my gosh, I love playing that tune and got this book and I've got your book and our group's got your book, and of course I'm proud. I am. But um I feel just blessed that I was, have the music knowledge and the ability to do this.
Mm.
Um, but I do find it quite humbling when people do openly love what I do, and I'm just a little bit like, well, like that'll do, like feel a bit
Oh, how
embarrassed.
beautiful. It's wonderful.
Yeah,
I mean, people see your performance at the end of the day, but they don't see the hours of practice and
no,
work that goes on. And they look at the end product, the song, the album, the performance, the concert, your fingers moving up and down the neck of the fretboard at lightning speed, and they thought, oh, wow, but they don't know that it's taken lots of dedication and
yeah,
focused practice, hasn't it?
absolutely.
Mm.
But with the ukulele, I mean, yes, you see my fingers moving around, but that's also the violin technique that's allowing me to do that. So I know
Yes.
where to place the fingers to get up the neck and everything.
Yes.
Um,
Ellie, I just wanted to just ask you, you've written a few resources. You've got some books that have published, something new that's coming. Um, what Would it be true to say that these things that you have collated are helping you to realize your big ukulele dream?
Oh, 100%. So what I'll do, I'll just take this off again, and I'll just show you some of the resources that I've written. And, really, so we've got the Ukulele Ensemble 1. Now, each book, it's not just about writing the tunes, it's about editing, making sure that everything's consistent, like the structure of the title, just the layout, editing, making sure there's no mistakes, because I can tell you what, mistakes can creep in. So each book would probably represent a minimum of 100, maybe up to 150, 200 hours to get one book out. So I've got the Ukulele Ensemble 1 for baritones. So it's the same as the other one, but just for it's tabbed for baritone. Got Ukulele Ensemble 2. So that's yeah, and these are all for soprano, concert, and tenor ukuleles, apart from that one baritone book. Ukulele Ensemble 3. It is. I've sent the final PDF to the printers this morning, so it's hopefully it'll be ready for Sanford Bush Festival this weekend. I'm hoping. And I've got the Ukulele Solo and Duo 1 book. So this is for solo and just duo players. And I've written it to Duo 1 because at some point I'll probably write a solo and Duo 2 book. So these books, a lot of ukulele groups around Australia and beyond, there's book sales in America, Switzerland, they're starting to sort of spread everywhere, New Zealand. So part of my dream is to be able to go around Australia and meet these people that have taken a leap of faith in my books. And so I can, let's see you play this for real. See if I can teach you some more, run small workshops, give them a concert. A big part of what I want to do with concerts is, yes, I love performing and I love getting up there and playing in front of people, but I like to include people in my concerts as well. And maybe, like for some situations, I've run workshops, a day of workshops, and then it's been like, okay, in the last hour, they're going to learn how to arrange a song, break off into groups, and then the concert component is then each group performing their piece, their tune or song that they've been preparing, and then I go on afterwards. So I very much like to include people in on concerts as well. It's
That's
because
wonderful, and
it's for everybody to get up and perform as well as learn. Yeah.
fantastic. I think that's beautiful, and I think it's a very sustainable model because God knows there's hundreds and hundreds of ukulele players out there that would welcome that type of patience, guidance, and instruction. Yeah.
Thank
Congratulations,
you.
Sally. Sally, we're nearly at the end of our conversation. We've got about 5 minutes left. Would you like to
Yeah.
play? I put you on the spot before with Bonnie's Lullaby just because I was so taken with that story. I wondered if you have another song that you would like to play for us.
Yeah. Well, I've got two tunes that I'll play for you. Both of them are in the Ukulele Solo and Duo 1 book because an ensemble tune, it's best when it's played with other people. So the first tune is called John McHugh's Jig, which I actually happened to write on the Spirit of Tasmania when we were going over there one time. So, and the second one is called The Magic Carpet. So I'll just lower the camera a bit, maybe, so you might be able to see my fingers a bit more.
Traveller's Ukulele Gig Guide with Sally Carter. She's playing us out with her original music. Sally, thank you so much for playing and talking to us today.
Thank you, Shirley Ann.
Aloha,
And
Sally. All the very best for you in the future.
thank you. And hopefully I'll meet all the lovely people who are listening to this podcast.
Yay! Hands to the screen, my friends. Morena, thank you, ngā mihi, and thank you so
Morena.
much. Lovely. Thanks. I think we did it, Sally. Well, thanks for listening, travellers. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, or click notifications on your preferred platform so you don't miss a yarn. We're posting a new episode every Wednesday morning because it's a great hump day, pick me up kind of a podcast. Thanks for listening. This is Shirley Ann. Aloha.